Hey y'all, so you got a little different view of me today. It's Asia here, the fumbling farmer. I'm in my workout gear. Usually I just come out with what I'm going to wear for the day looking cute, but today I got sweats and my t-shirt. Books are just word tacos, and I'm ready to work. I even got my pencil in my ear. With that being said, I really got to do some upkeep work. I have been very busy during summer school and just being lazy, and it's been hot and everything. And you know, laziness and gardening, it doesn't go well together. So we really got to get down to it today. So the first thing is, a lot of my plants are tired out. I haven't been fertilizing consistently, so they are not doing as well as they could, and they're also just getting to the end of their growing cycle kind of thing. You know, they've been producing for a while. So I have plants that are like my zucchini plants that I showed in the last video that kind of fell over, so they're still alive, but they're not really going to produce anything because there's like just a little bit of space for nutrients to get through to the leaves and the fruit and all that. So I'm going to pull those up today. My squash plants, some of them are kind of on their way out, so I'm going to pull those up today. And I'm actually going to try replanting a second round of it here in North Carolina. I think our first frost date is either the end of October or like November 1st. It's like pretty late out there, so I'm thinking I should be able to, especially those fast growing plants, I should be able to get those going. So I'm going to try to do that. But before I started, the reason I'm sitting here is I wanted to kind of talk to you about compost and everything. So I've showed you before the fish fertilizer stuff that I use. That's really cool stuff, good stuff. The other thing that I use too is kind of this compost tea. So a couple of years ago when I started composting, we used this company. It was called Compost Now. It's like local to our area. I don't know if like other places have it too. Let me know if you live somewhere else and y'all do have it. But they give you a bucket and you throw all your composting material, your food scraps into it, and you can schedule every week or bi-weekly. They come pick up your bucket. They calculate how much compost can be made from those food scraps, and then once you get like 80 pounds of compost or something like that, you can order it to be dropped off, and they drop off compost to you. So that was that. But it was like a little bit not like expensive. It's like $25, $30 a month kind of thing, but you know, with kids that can go elsewhere. So I was like, well, let me try to compost on my own. I don't really have the space or the energy to like have a big compost pile in my backyard. So I got like a little tumble composter, which I'm going to show you later. But the tumble composter worked very slowly. I got it kind of towards the end of the season, so in the winter time it's not really hot. We just had a big dragonfly fly past us. That's why I got distracted. But the tumble composter works pretty slowly because it's just in the tumbler. You have to remember to come out and spin it every day kind of thing and all that. So then I was like, okay, I need something else. So I found this thing, composting thing. It's called like the bokashi. And so what you get, it's this all seasons indoor composter. So you get kind of this sort of deal right here. They give you a bin. I really like this bin because up to here you fill up your food scraps, and then any liquids that it has drains through here, and you can get them in here. And the way that this works is this is a compost starter. It says it's been developed by ancient Japanese farmers, and the recipe has been passed down for centuries. And basically what it is, it's some kind of bacteria or something in here, and when you add it, it's not activated when it's dry and in the bag. It looks kind of like this. It's just dry, but when you add it to the compost, it eats it up. So let me show you what it looks like inside the compost. It's a little gross, but it's like kind of cool too. All right, so inside here,
Just gonna hold your phone to make a sword.
yep. So all that white fuzzy stuff is the composting fungus eating away at it, and you can see the fresh food scraps we've added to it will get eaten.
Mangoes and limes.
Yep. And so those are in there. And today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be draining some of the liquid into our water bucket. We're going to be mixing it with some water because we don't want it to be that strong and concentrated. So we're going to mix it with water, and we're going to go through and water the beds. The first thing I want to do though is get rid of the stuff. Oh, and then once we've drained the liquid from here, all the solid stuff that's left in here, or the broken down stuff, we're going to add to our tumbler. So the first thing I want to do is pull out the stuff that I don't want anymore that I'm planning to replant. I'm still going to put the compost tea into the soil just so the nutrients get put in there, so when I plant the new things, it's in relatively healthy soil. Okay, so let's go ahead and start pulling. Come on and follow me. If you've watched in a previous video, I pulled this plant up already because it had bacteria growing on it. It didn't look healthy, and so I just pulled it up. So we're going to plant a new plant there, but oh lordy, I am going to pull up this plant.
Got a nice tomato.
Yep, nice tomato here. We got a little bit of funkiness on this side here, but it is turning nice color. Okay. So this plant here, okay, Marigold, honey, you are amazing and fantastic, but I need to kind of be able to walk, my dude. Get you calendula out of the way. Oops. Okay. Put you here for now. Okay, so maybe you can come stand on this side and watch it from this side. Okay, so this right here, if you were watching like kind of earlier, is one of the plants that I was cutting off the, you might have to come closer for sound too. I was cutting off the suckers on this plant here, and I accidentally cut off the main part of the plant, and I was like, let's wait and see if it gets any bigger, and it actually never got any bigger. It stayed at this size. There is one tomato forming right here, but since I'm ready to pull stuff up, and it's all, lots of the leaves have like, they're kind of crunchy and spotted and yellow, I'm going to pull this plant up, so, and replant another plant here. That's the plan for all of these. Woo!
Ooh, he has a whole bunch of roots.
Oh. Oh.
Ugh.
Okay. Oh Lord. I love the way tomato plants smell. Okay, so here goes this baby. He's gonna go into, since he has those yellow parts on his leaves, I'm not gonna put him into our compost. I'm gonna put him into our yard waste bin. So just in case that is disease, I don't want it to spread. There's like a little root ball chunk here. Some people say leave the roots in the soil and that they'll break down. But since I'm planning to just plant right back into the spot again, I'm going to try to get the roots out of that spot so my plants have areas to grow. Oh, look at the little dragonfly buddy. Hey, buddy. Oh, sweet. So, I mean, I'm going to try to take the roots out so that the plants have space to grow. But in this bed, that's all I want to get up. Now, this bed here, this is the one that has all the bent over stuff. So you see how, like, this basically broke all the way over? It's like holding on by, like, it's like a tooth that's about to fall out, and it's just holding on to dear life by the little bit. So we're going to take these out, and I want to replant them. Pull that up, shake out the dirt in there, and I just took up the whole thing. I'll slide this off of here, and I do have to go in and take off the plastic before I put the plant. I think those, actually, I'll put that in a different pile. It looks relatively healthy, so I think I'm going to put it in the compost. Okay, this one here, it's not broken or bent or anything. I do have to tie it up, and it looks healthy, so I'm actually going to leave that one. This one here, I think I'm going to tie this one up again and leave that one. I'm definitely going to leave this one, but I got to get back over here again. You can stay where you are, Anissa. That's good. Alright, this one over here was bent and broken, so I'm going to just pick it up. Pull it out. Look how long that root is. Traveling everywhere, which is good. That's nice to know that they have nice long roots there. Alright, let me slide the stick out. Ouch, it's pokey. Squash and zucchini leaves are so pokey. Okay, stick this back in here just so I know where it was. This is another one that, this is one that I actually dug a squash vine borer out of.
Don't want to put that in the compost.
Well, the vine borer is gone. It's out of there, so it's fine. Shake the dirt off. The stick back in. All right. So I am going to come in and try to plant a few more seeds in here, but I'm going to water it compost. All right, this one over here.
So hot.
There's a stick. I planted my garden kind of with the trees above because a little bit of shade is good for your garden, especially down here in North Carolina where it gets hot, but then you get the sticks falling during storms too. All right, this plant here, these are squash. See how it's getting the kind of yellow looking leaves sort of things? And so I'm going to put this in the discard pile, not the compost pile. This one here is also getting those yellow looking leaves and it's kind of short and stubby, but it has a little squash there.
Mama.
Yeah.
Speak louder.
Oh, sorry. I have to speak louder. This one here is very tall, but it doesn't look like it's doing, well, I guess it got some stuff going on. This is the hardest part for me, all, because I know these need to come up. But they're trying, and I don't want to hurt them if they're trying. All right, this one I dug the squash vine borer out of. Am I lying? I'm not lying. I did. It's taped up. So I am going to pick this one up. Just because. Okay. Like I said, I have to come through and cut off all the plastic tape stuff that's there. And that soil's feeling kind of hard. I don't know if it's because it's dry or what. Okay. Also, I think, y'all, I'm going to pull up the cabbage. So this cabbage is pretty big. Oh, there's all kinds of spiders in there.
Let me see. Let me see. Oh, we can't really see them.
Just believe me, there's all kinds of spiders in here. But anyway, I'm just going to pull up this whole thing like this, put it to the side, and I'm going to pull up this one as well. Woo! Ooh, this on that one. Okay. And I will cut off the cabbage a little bit later. Okay, what else are we doing over here?
My feet are toasty.
Okay, this one, I'm going to pull up this one as well.
It's okay.
Alright, and then I'm going to try to plant some new squash plants over here once we get it fertilized and the soil turned over and all that. But look at this one, has this leaf, but it's tied up pretty safely. But it looks like the vine borer was in there. Yeah, I guess I'm going to take this one. It's teeny tiny also. So I guess I'm going to take this one out of here too. Oops. I swear I just saw a red bug, but maybe that's me being traumatized by these red bugs.
Ooh. Need some sunscreen.
Yeah, it is a little toasty out here. Okay, so I guess those are coming up, and I'm gonna do that. Okay, what else? Come on over here. Let's make a decision. Are we gonna mess with this dude?
That dude? I think this dude.
This dude. This dude has a little female zucchini and a male zucchini forming right there. A couple's males actually, so I think I'm not going to mess with this dude. Even though I did pull out the vine borer from it, it still looks like it's doing okay. This one right here has like some stuff. I think the slug's been getting to it because the flower is nibbled on. But this is my experiment with the burying the leaf, the root stem. What is it called? Yeah, the stem. After I dig out the thing, so I'm going to leave it there for the sake of my experiment. Okay, what else needs to come up? Come on, let's go look at the cucumbers. So,
They were doing really well, but
Yeah.
now it's
Now they're tired. Oh, Lord. You okay? Sorry, y'all went for a little roller coaster ride there. Okay, so this stem broke off. And I don't know, though. It looks like it's kind of trying to do its thing here. That's my problem. As long as I think something's trying, then I'm like, I gotta leave it and give it a chance. But if, sometimes you just gotta let it go. Yes, I gotta let it go. Okay, let me follow this plant up. So this one is here. It's looking kind of raggedy. This one I don't feel bad about. This one's out.
Oh, but that's pretty flowers.
Yeah, but it was spindly. Okay, this one comes up here, goes around there. I think this one, oh, ouch.
Sorry.
I think this one, even though it looks spindly here, I think over here, it's producing cucumbers. I follow the vine up here and it goes over here. And if you look over there, there is a cucumber that I believe is connected to this vine. So it is making stuff, so I'm gonna leave it. I don't think I'm gonna mess with any of these plants actually, because even though they look kind of rough, they are still producing cucumbers. So I think I'm gonna leave them. All right, so that's all the stuff. Oh, nope, green beans.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, that's the green beans. So the other day it rained
A lot.
pretty hard, and so the soil was nice and soft. And so I was like, ooh, this might be a good chance to pull up the corn. Because, are you watching what you're filming? Because as I previously tried to pull up the corn, the soil was hard and the roots were in there and it was really hard to get them up, okay? So I pulled up the corn and today I think I'm going to pull out the green beans. I know they look decent-ish, but they're starting to get like disease here and brown spots and everything, and even the green beans that they're making are a little bit smaller than I would like them to be. So I think I'm going to harvest, oh Lord, and pull these up and replant them. That's my plan, is to replant. So let's see if I can get these up. Whew.
That was a nice bunch.
Yep. All right. This one is kind of past its age, or past its use date, but I'm going to pull all these. And maybe we'll be able to get a meal out of this. I like to roast my green beans. I actually roast everything pretty much. Throw some olive oil, EVOO, on it.
Yeah, it's true.
And salt and pepper, maybe some paprika or something, or some garlic powder. Bust it under the 400 degrees. Take it out halfway through and stir it up a little bit. It's so good. A little bit crispy. The flavor is really there. It tastes delicious. All right, would you like to set that up on a tripod? Set up the tripod on the chair maybe?
Okay,
And then you can get yourself either a hat or you can get yourself out of the sun. Gotta make sure my videographer is okay, y'all. My videographer is melting in the sunshine. That's not okay. Alright, I think I got all the green beans off of this plant. Yeah, so that's that.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
It's more facing you than the green beans.
That's okay. Okay, here's another plant. And this is a good sized plant. These are bush beans. So I probably could have grown it up a trellis if I wanted to, because this is like one stem on it. So I probably could have supported it up there and grown it up the trellis, but it's fine like this. All right, let me get all of these ones off first. And because these do have all the brown spots on the leaves and everything, I am going to probably just not compost these, put these in the yard waste bin. My yard waste bin is about ready to go out by the curb. It's full up. All of these are small. The beginning of the season, the green beans it was growing were really big. But now it's just putting out these itty bitty ones, which are still going to taste delicious, but it takes a long time to pick them and to find them and all that. So it just seems better to go ahead and plant some new ones. Okay, did I get all the green things up? This one. Okay, I grew wax beans this year too. They came up a lot earlier because once the bush beans keep on going, and the vegetables on them will be smaller, but they do keep on producing. The wax beans I found once I picked them off of a plant and like harvested the first round of harvesting, they kind of didn't do too much after that. Okay, let me grab another plant here. Ooh, I don't want to step in my bed, but I'm gonna have to get this one up. Get this one up, and let me get this one up. Okay, sit back down and do this. Alright y'all, so I'm gonna come over here, get back into my videographer mode myself. Alright, so we got a basket full of beans. It's about probably as much as you'd find in one of those 15-ounce bags you can find at the grocery store, so it'll be about enough for a meal for our family. Alright, here's all the waste from that. That's some of it is good. I don't know, I'll probably end up just putting it into the compost. And then here we have the empty bed. Wah, wah, wah. Alright, so that is that. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to start fertilizing everything. So I'm going to take this. Sorry, I lost my videographer, so I'm trying to do this and film at the same time. And so garden tours are filmable solo, but garden work not so much. Okay, hold on. Sorry y'all, I'm having technical difficulties trying to figure this thing out. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think that shows everything I need it to show. Oops, that was my finger. There we go. Alright, so here's what we finna do. We are going to hold this up here, open this up, I'm gonna let it drain in there. There we go. And I'm going to fill it up about 1/4 of the way with the compost tea, and then I'm going to do the rest with water. I ain't gonna lie, it's a bit pungent smelling, y'all. Okay, let me close that up. And I have my hose right here. Put water in the rest of this. I'm also going to wash off this handle because ew. Mix this up. the deal right now is this is smelling kind of strong. So it's been a while since we've touched the compost thing, and I'm a little nervous that like something happened with it. So I think today I'm just going to do one bed with it. Maybe that bed that I pulled the squashes out of. I'm going to do that bed with it, and I'm going to see what happens. Give it a couple days, see what happens. Because I'm going away for a few days. When I come back, if those vegetables still look good, then I'll finish the rest of the beds, just because I don't want to mess things up. In the meantime, so let's do that. I'm going to put y'all down somewhere. Where are we going? Right here is good? Sure. So I'm going to water that bed down there at the end. I'll be right back. While I was out there, so that smells real composty, so we'll see. So while I was out there, I don't know if y'all noticed, I started attacking the plant, but I saw a freaking wasp, the moth for the vine borer thing. In its adult stage, it's this wasp, and it's really pretty actually. It's like a nice orange color, pretty color moth, but it was sitting on the leaf. So I karate chopped it, but then I couldn't see where it went from there. And then while I was doing that, then I noticed that the peppers were orange, and I was like, ooh, let me go pick those. And then one of the peppers, ooh, yeah, it smells, y'all. Not bad. The flies are coming around. It just smells like decomposing matter. So we'll see. We'll see if that's too strong. Maybe I don't need to do a fourth of the container, just a little bit. But we will see what happens. And if that survives and it's okay, then we'll check it out. So I think I'm gonna go now. It's getting really hot. I'm starting to sweat, and I don't like to sweat. Usually I stop at glistening. Then once the glistening starts to turn into sweat, then it's a wrap. So that's about to happen. I'm gonna grab some of these tomatoes from here. So this one's ready. Come here, baby. Anissa says, just pull it, but I feel like if I pull it, then I pull the rest of the plant, so I like to do the twisting method. Okay, add that to my little basket, harvest basket over here. Okay, all right, so go inside for now. I might come out later this evening, I don't know. Like I said, we are going away for a couple days, me and the littles, so I got to do packing and all kinds of stuff still. So I might not get back out here. I do want to start looking through my seeds though, and see what seeds I have available. I got to start thinking about a fall garden. So what am I going to do in the fall? Last year I brought some plant starts from the community garden around here, and they did great. I put like the hoops over them and covered them with cloth, fabric cloth stuff, and they did really well. We got kale and broccoli, and the cabbage is from then. So I think about that, but I'm also trying to see what I can get a second round in. And I do think that those squash and zucchini, I could probably get a second round in. Green beans grow pretty fast, so I can probably get a second round of those. And cucumbers, I should be able to get a second round in as well. So let me see what seeds I have. I might go and check out like some of the gardening sections of different stores and see if they have any starts already. That will make things go a little faster, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today, y'all. That was a lot. A long video, long time working outside with me, and I hope that y'all enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me. Happy gardening, y'all.